Since last month, Jieshuo is receiving some improvements and modifications. I'll talk about some of them today. I'll start with settings.
Main menu. Jieshuo settings.
Jieshuo developer is doing some reorganization in settings. So we have new sections, like this one.
More.
Here, the developer had gathered the tools, Jieshuo tools, like the camera, web browser, text editor. So
More. Cloud notes. Reading mode. VR visual assistant. Jieshuo camera. Jieshuo text editor. Jieshuo web browser. More. Jieshuo plus.
Another new section is in the operation settings.
Feedback settings. Operation settings. Operation settings.
It's called
Gesture scheme custom. Gestures default settings. Manage settings related to gesture default behaviors and options.
Gestures default settings.
Gestures default settings.
It's related to gestures. He had moved some stuff related to gestures, like things that were in the navigation settings, related to the granularities, how to move between granularities, and also he had included here the multi-finger gestures, the edge gestures, the multi-part gestures, and also the shortcut gestures, which was an independent section. Now it's here in this new section.
Customize web page element navigation. Default. Allow moving by element type in the Android standard interface. Customize step. Use the alternative element navigation. Remember the selected navigation type when changing windows checkbox checked. Use multi-finger gestures checkbox checked. Operation settings.
Now I'll go to
Jieshuo plus.
Advanced Settings,
Advanced settings. Advanced settings.
Menu Customization.
Operation setting. Menu customization. Menu customization.
There are two new options related to the Functions menu, which is by default activated by swiping up, then right.
Show actions in the functions menu checkbox unchecked.
If I check this option, actions related to the focused item will be shown in the Functions menu, like the options available when I'm focusing an item on the home screen. I'll check it. The other option is
Show additional dynamic focus related options in the functions menu checkbox checked.
this is related to other stuff related to the focused item, like if I'm in a message and I have links, the links will be shown in the Functions menu. And if I'm on a slider, the adjust slider's value will be also shown. Let's try this, or let's see this in action.
Messages.
This is the messages on the home screen.
Functions menu.
I'm on the Functions menu.
Cancel button. Input button. Move item. Uninstalled. Remove.
So I'm able to find the options or the actions in the Functions menu.
Lebanon. Display brightness slider 0%.
This is the brightness slider, Functions.
Functions menu. Cancel button. Recognition menu. Adjust sliders value.
I'll move now to language settings, which is also in advanced settings.
Scheduled tasks. Profiles. Resource. Backup and language settings. Language settings.
The developer had added the ability to search. So I have
Language settings. Save button. More. Use custom translation check. Enter keyword text box.
I'll type sound.
Browse by touch suspended. SOUND. Browse by touch resumed.
And I have,
Next result button.
which will search forward. It will search for the next available result.
Previous result button.
It will go backward, searching for the previous result. So
Next result button.
I'll tap on next result. It took me to where the result is present, but it didn't focus it.
Sound text box. Editing.
So I have to find it in this screen, or
Use underscore sound underscore title sound feedback.
So as I said, it's not focusing the actual result. It's taking me to where the result is. Going now to more options.
Use custom. More options button.
I have two new options.
To end. To top.
To top, which will take me to the beginning of the list.
To end.
Which will take me to the end of the list, which is useful because the developer includes new strings in the end. So I'll tap on
Language settings.
to end.
Find underscore next result.
I will modify
Next result text box.
one string. I'll just
F.
add a random letter. And I'll tap OK.
OK button. Use underscore action underscore menu underscore show underscore.
And I'll go back to close this section.
Use underscore content has been changed.
Before, going back without saving would mean that you would lose the modifications that you did. Now, you will have this message telling you that there were modifications
Content has been changed.
with the choices of
Go back button.
which will take you to the list again.
Don't save button. Save button.
Don't save and save.
Don't save button. Advanced settings.
There is a modification related to timer. Before, when there were preset timers, when you tap the function, the timer function, or you use it via gesture, you would be having the choice either to start the preset timer or to start the stopwatch. You were unable to start the preset timer, without using the auto click that I talked about before. Now things are different. If you use the timer function, you will be starting the stopwatch without the choices that were available before. But if you are trying to assign a gesture or a shortcut key like the long pressing of the volume up,
Main menu.
you will have a choice.
Jieshuo settings. Advanced settings. Jieshuo plus.
I'll go to General Settings, Custom Gesture Scheme.
TTS settings. General settings. Custom gesture scheme settings. Custom.
And I'll select a gesture.
Swipe down then up to end default. Swipe down then up.
I have
Swipe down. Default checked. No command unchecked. Plugins unchecked. Custom voice command. Tools unchecked. Timer unchecked.
timer. If I tap here, I will be selecting what should happen when I use this gesture.
Timer. Ask test. Ask every time.
Ask every time, which means that it will ask me every time I perform the gesture.
Test.
This is a preset timer that I have created. If I tap on this, when I perform the gesture, this preset timer should be started.
Start now.
And the start now, which will start the stopwatch. Moving now to TTS settings.
TTS settings. TTS settings.
Main TTS.
Secondary TTS. Main TTS engine. Main TTS engine. Main TTS. Select TTS engine.
After the TTS engine selector,
Open system TTS engine.
here it will open the text-to-speech settings because I'm using the system settings, the system TTS I mean. But if I'm using a different
Select TTS engine.
TTS,
Select RH voice. William TTS. Acapella TTS /com.gameplaygroup.android.tts unchecked.
acapella, for example.
Main TTS engine. Main TTS engine. Select TTS engine. Open acapella tts/com.acapellagroup.android.tts.
This will open the acapella application. Let's see.
Application icon. Click to access to Android TTS. Click to access to Android. Main TTS engine.
So it's for accessing the TTS related settings, the TTS that I'm using. And the same thing, or the same option, is available in the secondary TTS engine as well. The fast forward and rewind functions are added to the list of functions. So now you are able to use them from the main menu or assign gestures to them without the need of using any function creation. Also, the selection mode, which is in the character-by-character browsing mode, is now with its own function, so you can activate it without going first to the character-by-character browsing mode. There are two exciting new things, which are related first to the copying or repeating of the last spoken item. Now there is a service that enables the user via function creation to copy or repeat or do other things with the last spoken item. Until now, it's not in the functions list. Nothing related to this is in the functions list, so you have to create a function. But I hope that at least the copy last spoken item will be added in the future. Another thing is related to text selection in edit boxes. Finally, Jieshuo is doing some improvements related to text selection. So now if I'm selecting a text, let's say a part of a text that I'm typing or editing, I can use actions, for example, to create a link in Telegram. So I can use actions to act on the selected text, and I can tap the delete key on my keyboard to be able to delete the selection. I will leave those two new things that I mentioned, to a different demo because they need a separate demo. And I'll stop here. I should mention before ending this that things may be different in the future because the developer is doing some reorganization and the work is still in progress. So things may be different with the coming versions. Also, there are some bugs here and there, but I hope that the developer will be able to fix stuff soon. Thank you for listening.